Let me just explain how it's going to work. You get one on lap, and then you get one timed lap. The top two get their way into the Daytona 500 based off speed. All right, top two make it in off speed. So here's Tubopt on his time lap. Now, I'm not sure, honestly, which lane is better. We might see a little bit of a mixture. Guys using the top, then guys using the bottom, or guys rolling the top side and then swinging it down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to preserve that run. But with the way these cars work, with how tight they are, I'm not sure how well that's going to work. Arnioto was asking me if I was going to stream quali. But actually, I can just share my screen to the stage. All right, Tubopt onto his time lap now. You see him on the throttle. He's going to be the first one to use the bottom, so we'll see. I think he got on that yellow line right there. That yellow line is going to be killer. By the way, the spectate menu is broken. You're not going 179 miles an hour. You're actually going like 190. No, Orange was helping me test last night, and then I was fixing the cars. And then also, it really doesn't matter because the setups change, so. All right, here we go. Tubopt, his qualifying lap for the Daytona 500. First one of the season. Anyways, Mason, he's pretty well known for his dominance at super speedways, I'd say. Although, not really known for being the cleanest driver. Definitely throws a lot of crazy blocks. But I do expect him to do pretty good in this race. And you see Mason right now through turns 3 and 4, coming on to his timed lap. Missed the clash, although once again, there's a little bit of controversy right there. And down the front straightaway. Mason now onto his timed lap. We'll see. And those straightaways are also going to be a little bit interesting too, because now he's going to use the outside, so he's going to be experimenting a little bit. So those guys who aren't really paying attention right now, I definitely advise you do, because Mason just used the outside in 1 and 2, so we'll have to see what's going to be faster, the bottom or the top, if you're just somebody watching right now. And once again, goes back to the top in 3 and 4. And that top side, I think we saw it while we were testing. Top side was a little bit better. Now he swings it back down to the bottom. So he's sacrificing the runoff, but he's using the rest of the momentum to get down to the bottom of the racetrack. Going to use the bottom on the front stretch. Mason, 53.029. You know, the one thing I noticed from Bubba was that in the races, Byron's here now, in the tryout races, sorry, he was very fast in practice and qualifying, but the second it kind of came race time, I don't know if he tried to be a little bit more, you know, calm. He was trying to be a little bit more clean, but he kind of fell off the pace a little bit. Like a lot in qualifying. He was top 3, top 4 in qualifying, and then come race time, you know, kind of fell off a little bit. Ran around like 5th, 6th. Also, you know, wall tapped a decent amount. He kind of ran into a couple guys, but now onto his timed lap. Let's see if he can keep that trend up. And he's also going to run the top. He's going to ride the top fully through 1 and 2. Let's see, what lane is he going to run now? Going to run the top. And it's so beneficial if you're somebody going last at a super speedway qualifying, because you get to see what lane is better, especially in row racing. In real life, you're going to run the bottom. That's always the faster line. But in row racing, it is definitely confusing. So he's just going to be a little bit high on the front stretch there, but Bubba going to get last, 53.146. And Orange, yes, he did practice a little bit. Let me get this clear. Orange did practice a little bit, but the setups have changed. The outside is different. The handling is different. So I'm not sure how beneficial this is going to be. On to his time lap now. And when we were testing last night, the outside was a little bit worse. Although I think, or no, the outside was actually better. Outside was better. So let's see what he does. He's just going to use the bottom, although he's a little bit high on the racetrack. It looks like he's also using that middle line as well. But it's not as good as the bottom. And now he's going back up to the top. And then I think tried to swing it low or went back down to the middle. And then brought it back down to the bottom. Let's see here. This could be a great lap from Orange. Down the front straightaway. Orange, tic-tac. no. Orange got last, actually. 53,196 for Orange. Now, Lil Monster, another rookie. He's running a blank car, but that will change if he makes the 500. No, he didn't show too much. I honestly think he's still very unproven. I don't know what to expect from Lil Monster, because I honestly didn't see much of him. Now, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that, like, I think he just kind of ran mid-pack most of the time. So let's see what he can do here. And another thing is that down these front straightaway, and especially coming out the front stretch, he's actually going to use the top once again. Ooh. Not sure how this is going to work. Just got up and hit the wall right there. And it really just depends, as we'll see Lil Monster use the top again. That's what I'm saying. I think the inside is the lane right now. We'll see here, down the front straightaway. Lil Monster. Actually, yeah, he got barely better than Bubba and Orange. All right, and now Cole. He's known for being a qualifying merchant. He may not have the speed during the race, may run mid-pack to last, but Cole is known for being a great qualifier. So let's see if he can prove me right today. Gets right on that yellow line, and that's what I was talking about. You see him hug the yellow line coming off the front stretch instead of drifting up the track right there. He's also just going to stick the bottom. Got to be very careful with that. Oh, no! That's a track bump, though, so I'll let him go again. All right, do another lap, Cole. That was a track bump. Going to get the outside just a little bit, swing it down to the bottom. And with these super speedways, it's all about just preserving momentum. So he's going to try it again. This time, maybe be a little bit more careful. Want to be very cautious of those track bumps. So there's not really much we can do about them. See him hugging that yellow line. Well, Toyota gets second again. Cole hugging the bottom. And drifts up the track mid-corner. Goes back to hugging that yellow line. Coming off turn 4 for the final time. Down the front straightaway. Cole will get third, actually, tied with Mason. All right, Tim onto his time lap now. Third charter for Bob Rowe Racing. They call him the Intimidator. I gotta come up with more nicknames for people. We got the Intimidator. We got Young Money for Sky. Anyways, Tim coming out of turn 4. Looked like he just drifted up the track a little bit. But I think that bottom lane still is the one to be on. But although Mason, he somehow got that top side to work. Not sure what he did. Almost had 4 tires below the line right there. Tim, slow lap, 53,129. So now you got yourself guessing. You don't know what line's better. Hey, I could be able to use the top and see if, you know, I could do what Mason did and maybe I could try to swing it down to the bottom, but I'm not sure if that's going to work. See him right up against the wall. This is Bob. Led 485 laps last season, 3 times more than the driver in second. But only had 1 pole to show for it. And also 1 win as well, as you see him kind of turn down a little bit early right there. Yeah, I think he was a little bit high coming out of the front straightaway. I'm not sure if that's really going to be the best time for Bob. Kind of hits a slight track bump right there and got him that yellow line. You saw he kind of slowed down a little bit. Went from 179 to 177. Although, once again, these cars aren't actually going that speed. They're going around like 190. It's just the spectate menu's a little bit broken. And then gets on the yellow line again. Also got a little bit slow. You got to be very careful with that yellow line. You got to be right next to it. But if you're just right on it, then you're just going to go losing your speed. As coming off of turn 4, let's see what Bob can get right here. Bob trying to show up for Bob Rowe Racing. Got 4th place. Byron struggled last season, did great in the tryouts, and then just flatlined, just plateaued in the actual season. Now he's part-time this season, is the only car for Sunflower Racing. As here we are down the front straightaway. Byron onto his timed lap. Coming in turn 1, he will also just hug that bottom lane. Got to be very careful with that yellow line. You see him just drift up a little bit. Oh, we got on the brakes. That might hurt. And, oh, you saw it right there. Lost all momentum off of turn 2. Not going to be a good lap for Byron. Looks like he will not get in the Daytona 500 based off speed. Talk to Waldy or something like that. Anyways, Byron, yeah, bad lap time, 53.183. We got CTG. We were talking about him earlier. He got that 1 win for Sunflower Racing. Now switched manufacturers entirely. He is now the 99 for Course Home Racing, a new team that started up this season and looks to be a pretty decent squad so far. Tubop already might get a pull for them. Anyways, down the front straightaway right here. Let's see what CTG can do in that Chevrolet Camaro. Experimenting a little bit. You saw him run the middle, then went up to the top. He's going to bring it back down to the middle. Had a little bit of a run. Now he's going to carry it off of turn 2. And down the back straightaway he goes. It seemed like a decent lap. I think he just, when he lost it going up the track right there, probably lost a little bit of speed. But let's see what he can do right here. So I'm turn up the track a little bit. Now he's going to go back to the middle. Try to see if he can get a run. He's going to drift back up. Try to get that run on the top. But now he's going to swing it back down. And I just don't know if he really... Oh, lost some speed off of turn 4. That could have killed it. Let's just make sure he doesn't go 4 tires below the line right here. And he doesn't. CTG, top of the board, 52.938. And now Ancient, he knows what to do now. He's got a great idea of what to do. He's just got 1 lap to practice it. So now let's see what Ancient can do there. It looks like he kind of came down the track a little bit too late, but he carried some speed down the front straightaway. So let's see what he can do. Coming into turn 1, he's going to do the same exact thing that CTG did, although I think he just went a little bit higher on the racetrack. Although it looks like he just turned the car a little bit too much. You don't want to go turning up the straightaway like that, just like what Ancient did. Northern is here. I'll teleport him in a sec. Running the top. Oh, that might not be good for Ancient. Trying to preserve a run down the straightaway. Down the front stretch, got on that yellow line, kind of... Oh, top of the board, 52.883. Northern onto his timed lap now. We've been talking about him all offseason. He's one of the best drivers with these cars. A lot of hype surrounding him. Let's see if he can back it up with a pole position at Daytona, or at least the top 2. Get him in off speed. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. He does not try to swing it down low. He's going to keep that momentum off of 4. And now here we go. Down the front straightaway. Northern Rail fan. Not a great lap.